It'll tell me.
With What the Hales! Welcome to the live streaming Q&A here on Sunday night. George, how was your Sunday?
It's been pretty low-key.
Really? Low-key? What'd you do today?
We cleaned.
We did do some cleaning. What else did we do?
You put in dinner in the crock pot.
I cooked! Can you believe it? This
cook.
guy cooks. I can't believe it either.
Tell him what you made.
I made chicken and carrots and red potatoes. Threw that all in the crock pot. A little bit of salt. She taught me that. And then you just drench it in ketchup. Most amazing thing in the world. All right.
Try to post some things on eBay.
Oh, you did do eBay as well. That was incredible too. Well, let's jump into this evening's live Q&A. If you have a question, make sure you put your question in the comments, in the chat. We will try to get to as many questions this evening as we possibly can. That's the goal. Now, we do have some individuals that are across the world, across the pond, all over the place. And so we're going to try and attempt to answer some of those questions that were actually sent beforehand. But before we do any of that, we've got some housekeeping things that we want to get tackled first. So a couple different things in regards to the housekeeping issues. Number one, the safe money. The safe money is still here. It's live and well with the Obama penny and the little mini Woodstock harmonica. There it is. And somebody's still going to win it. December 26th, we will pick that winner. But that winner truly has to be the one to pick the correct amount that was actually in the safe. You get the dollar bills, you get the change, the Obama penny, the mini harmonica, the whole deal. So there it is. We want your guesses. Make sure you go to the safe, how much was in the safe, and put in your comments and your guesses, and we'll be ready to roll. And I will share with you that nobody has actually gotten the right answer yet in regards to that amount. So you still have an opportunity to get the right guess. And remember, one guess. Those of you that are sending 2, 3, 4, yeah, some of you have even sent 4 different guesses. One guess. We're going to take the first guess, and that will be the one that counts for your guess, okay? Now, other thing, yesterday, George and I went out auctioning. And how'd you do yesterday, George?
I think I did pretty well. I bid on 3 units, had a budget, got one of the units, but then got outbid on 2 of the other units.
So how much did you actually spend?
$25 for the actual
Whoa! Big spender!
And the storage facility we went to had a $60 clean-out deposit. So a total of $85 because we decided to forfeit the cleaning deposit for teaching purposes.
So our entire goal yesterday was to actually forfeit our deposit. Now we've gotten lots of comments on that video saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. They'll ban you. Okay, I get that, okay? Maybe your business that you actually go and you bid at, their personal policy may be banning you, okay? And so like anything we ever share on this channel, it's all ideas. It may be a good idea for one person, such as George yesterday. She didn't want to haul all the stuff. She cherry picked. She decided what she wanted to take and what she wanted to leave behind. That may not be a good idea for another person, and that's okay. The whole premise is just to give you ideas. Maybe an idea will work for you. It won't work for somebody else. It's not illegal to leave those things behind. You can do whatever you want. You paid for it. You paid $60 to leave that behind, right? Mm-hmm. I pay $60 a month for the garbage man to come and pick up all my garbage. And so you paid for it. The policy of those specific individual businesses are going to vary, just like policies. If I ran a business, you ran a business, George ran a business, those policies would all be different. So keep that in mind. It's just an idea. Make sure before you do something along those lines that you leave everything, you forego your security, your clean out fee, your security deposit. Check the policies of your local business. See what they say. All right? Again, just an idea. Now, we got a couple other things we got to tackle before we get into questions. We got a couple shout outs here. Who are we going to do a shout out to, George?
I'd like to make a shout out to the first person that bought a What the Hales merch. They've been selling like crazy, but the very first viewer that bought a hoodie was Scott McFarlane. Thank you so much for your support.
Nice.
And your purchase.
Super fan Scott McFarlane. You got your very first What the Hales hoodie.
Don't forget to send us a selfie with you in the hoodie.
If you did get a hoodie or a t-shirt, we want those selfies. George, where should they post the selfie?
On our What the Hales Facebook page.
Yep, great place to do that. Okay, we got a couple other shout outs as well. We got a shout out to Russell McClellan, and he's a big fan, asked for a shout out. So Russell, there's your shout out. How do we do a shout out? We just shout, Russell! Turn your volume down, okay? And then we also have another individual who wants a shout out. Who's that, George?
Marginal PG.
Yeah! All right, so there you go. I don't know if it's pronounced marginal or marinal or marinal. Who knows? But I'm sure you do. Hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate you viewing. I tell George all the time, I'm completely and totally humbled that anybody even views this stuff. And so we appreciate you guys watching. Okay, George, a lot of people have been writing us and telling us about some pretty incredible things. You want to share some of those things with our viewers?
Yeah, I do have a success story that I'd like to share with you guys. James and Tracy Beasley sent us a message. They spent $87 on 3 units today, and that is what the Hales is up. They said, thank you guys. Wouldn't have had the guts to try this without you. Thanks for a lot of the tips and support. Tracy did all the profiling and bidding, and they also said if they play their cards right, perhaps it'll allow them to spend more time at home, and that's the goal.
That's my goal. I'm always at home. All right, do you have another one there?
Yes, one more success story to share. Mark Hooker said that he won his first unit for 20 grand, and he feels like he hit the mother load. So apparently there were a lot of...
2 grand, not 20 grand.
2 grand.
So James and Tracy spent $87 on 3 units. Mark spent 2 grand on 1 unit.
And said he hit the mother load. So apparently he scored big on the...
Yeah, that's amazing. A question a lot of people ask me, what's the most amount of money I've ever spent on a unit? Have I ever told you this yet?
My guess would be the $1,400.
$1,400 on a unit. You are absolutely incorrect. Higher. Are you going to guess? A little bit more.
$1,800.
A little bit more.
2 grand.
A little bit more.
3 grand.
A little bit less.
2,500.
A little bit more.
2,600.
All right, $2,600 I spent on a unit in Massillon, Ohio that contained $40,000 worth of antique furniture. I sent it all up to Cleveland, Ohio to an antique furniture auction house. I just let it all roll. Now, the reason why I bought that unit had nothing to do with the antique furniture. I didn't even see the furniture. I saw a guitar case. And it looked to me, I know my guitars, and it looked to me like it could contain an old Gibson. And so I only spent the money hoping it was an old Gibson. It wasn't. It was a different guitar, and I sold that guitar for $800, I think. So, that being said, we always find treasure even when we're not looking, and I'm going to share with you some of the cool things that we found this week, okay? And we're going to share with you each week something cool that we found. It could be something weird, could be something obscure, could be something worth a lot of money. So I've got 2 things to show with you right now. Now, this is the first time I've ever found stock. I actually found 5 shares of Chrysler Corporation stock right there. There it is. First time I've ever found stock in an actual unit. Now, all of you guys are going to go, what do you have to do if you find stock? We'll answer that question later. But I found something else just today. Here we go. I was showing George this earlier. This isn't, and I dropped it. Captain Fumble Fingers again. All right. This is an 18 karat gold platinum ring that I found today, a wedding ring. And so 18K on the inside and then capital P-L-A-T. If you see capital P-L-A-T, that's platinum. And so just found this today as we were going and sorting through things. Pretty cool stuff right there. Don't know the value yet, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. All right. As you're out and you're treasure hunting as well, and as George is getting ready to ask all of your crazy questions, just a quick tip for you. As you look for all your storage units and you're on AuctionZip or you're on Storage Treasures or you're on whatever thing works for you to find them, another great way to find them, call your local auction houses or your auctioneers and say, hey, do you auction off storage units? And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, yeah. Ask to get on their mailing list. They'll send you a postcard, they'll send you a flyer, or even email. They'll send you the information. That way you don't have to go looking for it. It's going to come straight to you. But you could do that as well with the storage unit facilities. Contact your local storage unit facilities and say, hey, when you have auctions, can you alert me? Can you send me a text? Can you send me an email? Do you have a flyer? Do you have... Contact them, and then they'll stay in contact with you, and that way you're ready for your treasure hunt. That's your tip for this week. Okay, George, I've got a question for you, George.
Okay.
This question was already submitted earlier. The viewers want to know. We all know that you are a linguistic expert. You speak so many languages, it's ridiculous. Can you just list some of the languages that you speak?
I speak, obviously, English, Arabic. Both of my parents are from Egypt, so I speak Arabic. I took Spanish, German, and French. A little bit of sign language, and then my favorite, sarcasm.
Not a bad one. Okay. So your primary language when you were just a wee lad, what was your primary language growing up?
It was Arabic. I actually went to school not knowing a word of English.
So you're in kindergarten and you know no English?
I was in preschool, didn't know English. By the time I made it to kindergarten, I spoke more English. And
how'd you learn English?
Believe it or not, I learned English just from watching TV. Sesame Street and Lamb Chops were 2 of the biggest shows. Do you guys remember that show?
This is the song, this is the show that never ends. What the Hales, George and my friend. Okay. So you were in preschool, and to communicate, did you just go, ah! Did you do that with swords running after people?
I barely made it through preschool, but by kindergarten,
you were pretty good?
It, yeah.
Nice. Okay. George, somebody else has a question.
Amanda Horner wants to know, Jeremy, when are you going to propose to George?
Amanda, number one, I want to know, did she put you up to this? So are you guys talking on the side without me knowing? Because it just so happens that, George,
yes.
I know we've only been seeing each other for 4 months, 1 week, 3 days, 38 minutes, and 10 seconds. And George, you are the most Georgeous George I've ever met in my life. You're more Georgeous than one of that viewer's Uncle George, and you're more Georgeous than George of the Jungle. And I don't mean just here, George. I mean everywhere, Georgeous. You're the most beautiful person on the outside and the inside. And so, George, I need to ask you a serious question.
What's the question?
Would you go to a storage auction with me next Saturday? There's 53 units going to be auctioned off in Massillon. And as a sign of our relationship, would you wear this to that storage unit auction with me? It's blue raspberry, your favorite.
It's a ring pop.
It's your favorite.
It is my favorite. The answer is yes.
Yes!
Yes!
Yeah! 53 storage units next Saturday. We're gonna make some big money. So Amanda, your answer to the question is, I don't know. So at any rate, I will tell you this. I am a strong advocate for marriage. And I am completely and totally against divorce. So all that being said, there's the answer to your question without answering it at all. All right, now, George, we've got somebody else that wants to know another question. Wait. I'm asking you.
You're going to ask?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mick G is from the UK.
Okay.
Now, Mick is always commenting on all the videos, big supporter. He wants to know, where's everyone from? What do you think he means?
What I think he's asking are where all of our viewers are from. We're from Cleveland, Ohio, so go ahead and leave in the comments below where you're from, and then Mick will be able to go back and read it once he wakes up.
One of the things that astounds me is that people all over the world are actually watching these silly videos.
It is pretty cool.
We had a comment today. We were responding. We saw somebody from Spain. We get New Zealand, Spain. It's everywhere, and it's just mind-boggling to me. So it's hard to believe, but that's the way that it goes. All right, George, do we have another question coming into the comments as we get ready to tackle some of those questions?
Mark Lewis wants to know, do you ever buy Pallet like auctions from Amazon or Walmart?
Okay, so what Mark is asking, retailers will take all of their returns. It could be somebody that actually used an item and then returned it. Not that we would ever do that or you would ever do that, but they wanted to use the item, they bought it, they brought it back, they returned it, and the retailer has to hold that returned item, and a lot of times they won't put it back out on the floor. Or a lot of times what will happen is it's a clearance item. Maybe it's a clearance item, and instead of just destroying it all anymore, like some retailers used to do, and some still do, they will actually sell that off at auction. Or the other thing that could happen is a customer comes in, they buy an item, they needed one part of it, and they'll take it home, and then they'll take that one part, and then they'll return the item. They go, I don't need this anymore. And then the retailer takes it and goes, all right, send it all off to auction. Walmart will do it, Amazon will do it, Sears, Craftsman, they'll do all of these things. So, Mark, to answer your question, yes, I have been to these auctions, and I've bought tons of pallets. I spent $8,000 on right around Thanksgiving, probably 8 years ago. Filled up my 36-foot box truck. $8,000 I spent at this auction on pallets. The thing is, once I actually got into the items, because people will get the item, take a part of it, return it, or because the item was returned because it truly was damaged, the profit margin is just sucked right out of it. So for the $8,000 that I spent on all of these items, I can't even tell you how many nights after I was working a full-time job, more than a full-time job. I was working like crazy, and then I would go in the garage and try and fix all these items and try and find the parts and the pieces. It just was not worth it. And so we just had one of these pallet auctions here in Wooster yesterday. I don't go to them anymore. The profit margin is so small, I need a bigger profit margin. It's not worth the time and the effort for me personally. That doesn't mean it wouldn't work for you, whoever you are viewing right now. You have to find out what works for you, create your system. Again, good question. It's just not something that I'm particularly interested anymore because so many times the item truly is broken, you don't have a replacement part, or somebody returned it because they took a part and then they just returned it. It's just not for me anymore. So good question. Appreciate you asking it. All right, we got another question, George?
A lot of our viewers want to know if we have an eBay store.
Yes! We actually established an eBay store specifically for you. And so if you go to eBay, what's the eBay store's name?
It is What the Hales.
You got creative with that. So we actually are selling out of two different places right now. There is the What the Hales eBay store, and then George here has her own account as well on eBay, and she's selling the merch, the shirts and the hoodies from her eBay account as well. So there's two accounts set up, and for you guys who may get more in depth into eBay, or you may have to bring on more people, my encouragement is create more accounts. So right now for you guys, there are accounts, but that being said, as soon as you see these items, here's what I want you to keep in mind. You see these items on camera. What you don't see is the work that goes involved in it, okay? So particularly, let's take 2 nights ago. I got up at what time? I don't remember what time I got up at. Probably when you got up, 6:30? All right, what time was I done working? Because everything was YouTube. I went to bed at 1:30 a.m.
1:30 in the morning.
Okay, so I got up. I did storage unit videos for you guys. I have to come home, I have to edit, I have to upload. 1:30 in the morning is when I was done. When is there any time to actually put these items on eBay? So again, that's one of the reasons why George is helping with eBay, and then we're also looking for that full-time eBay position. So a lot of you guys, you see these items and then you message and you go, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. I have so much volume, I can't even find it knowing where it is right now, let alone have the time to respond, then post it on eBay. And then, let's be really honest too, a lot of people will go, well, what do you want for it? And then I go, well, this is what its value is, this is what it would sell. And then you go, oh, yeah, that'd be great, I want it, but then you flake. That's lost time, and there is no extra time right now. So, good question. If you truly want an item, let us know, and George probably can put that right up on eBay. Okay?
Yeah, just send us an offer at our email address at whatthehales at Yahoo. The link to our eBay store is listed in any of the videos that you watch, including the link to the eBay store. I have my own link. We haven't posted it publicly yet just because I'm still working on inventory, but it will have the hoodies and the t-shirt if you'd like to purchase those. Next question. Craig Henry asks, just would like to know, did you start off buying storage units as a hobby, or was it always going to be a business main income choice? Thank you from Craig all the way out in Ireland.
Ireland, wow. Wow. Okay, why don't you answer first how you got started? I'll give you a hint.
So before I met Jeremy, I used to love watching storage units. Storage Wars. And I met him and he explained that he does that on the side and started going to storage auctions with him, and here I am doing it with him.
When was your very first storage unit auction?
Probably about a month ago.
And
we took a road trip to Columbus, which is 2 hours south from Cleveland, from Wooster.
We drove 2 hours just to take her to her first one. That was a $150 unit, which most of you remember that unit. I know you do. I know you do. What was the temperature like that day?
It was very windy. It was like a wind tunnel there. It was
so
very cold, very windy.
Could not feel my hand because I didn't have any gloves on to record everything. My hand was literally frozen. The muscles wouldn't work anymore. It was so cold. So my first storage unit, I don't even remember. I have no clue. I've been doing auctions. The very first item I remember buying at auction when I go back was a blow dart gun, and it was at an estate auction, and I got it for $2. And I thought it was pretty cool. I was a teenager then, and I've always loved auctions. I fell in love with store liquidation auctions because I could go in and get all of the surplus items from a store that was going out of business and make a ton of money on the side, and I loved it. So storage units just kind of funneled right in. I do remember going and viewing my first storage unit auction, and that was in Talmadge, Ohio. And I just went, and I remember thinking, how in the world could a person buy all of this and haul it? Well, that may be some of the questions that you have in your mind as well. Easy now. Once you present the problem, it's pretty easy to come up with a solution. Trailer, rent a U-Haul, and on and on and on. At that point, at my first storage unit auction, I was coming up with excuses why not to do it. Whereas now, I come up with all of the solutions why to do it. So it started as a hobby just because I love it. And then out of necessity, honestly, out of necessity, it became a main hustle. And so I lost all of my particular items during a divorce, and saying I lost it, honestly, she wanted it, and I said, fine, take it all. I had an air mattress and I had a toothbrush, and I had to rebuild my life. And so I did that with storage units. It was an easy way, and it was a cost-effective way to jump right back into things and rebuild and regrow, and it became a main hustle out of necessity. Good question.
Next question from Ronald Chadwell. He asks, in terms for an auction, says cash with $100 refundable deposit to successful bidders. Does that mean if you don't win a unit, you lose your $100?
All right, who asked that? Ronald?
Ronald Chadwell.
All right, Ronald, Professor Hales is coming out. All right, Ronald, when you go to an auction, when you buy a unit, there's what's called the security deposit. It's also called a clean out fee. So when you buy an auction, such as the last video from last night that we uploaded. George bought a unit for how much?
$25.
$25. That security deposit, or it's also called a clean-out fee, was how much?
It was $60 at the particular storage unit place that we went to.
And that varies everywhere. I go to some storage unit facilities, they don't charge you any security deposit. The highest one I've ever been to charges $200 for a security deposit. It could be $100, it could be $50, it could be $75, it could be anything. You pay that once you own a unit. Mm-hmm. Once you clean out the unit, and typically they want you to sweep it out, everything needs to be cleaned out. They go and inspect it, and if it's clean, you get your $100 back. So if you go to an auction, it doesn't cost you a security deposit to go to an auction. You only pay that $100 security deposit if you buy a unit at the auction that you went to. And that refundable or returnable security deposit comes back to you once you clean out the unit. What you saw George and I did not do in yesterday's video. On purpose, we did not do it as a training tool or a teaching tool or an idea for you and other subscribers.
But we didn't leave it a mess. We neatly put everything back.
We left it hilarious. No, we left it Hales-larious.
We even left a little gift right there as soon as they opened the storage unit. But most likely they'll probably re-auction the same unit the next time they have.
And we know at this particular facility, that's exactly what they do. So we know the facility. You would want to talk to your facility again before you ever not clean out your storage unit. Make sure you know the policies of the particular facility that you are bidding on at, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pamela Chadwell asked, you said the people from the auction house will sell the units for you. How can you trust them to do so and not steal from your unit? Also, who sweeps that unit out for you?
All right, Pamela, great question.
That is a good question.
Okay, and particularly Pamela is asking about a storage unit that I bought for $15 on Thursday. This past Thursday, I bought a storage unit for $15. I'm sending it directly to the auction house, Madison Hill Auction House here in Wooster. They will pick it up, they will take it, they will sell it, and I'm trying to show you, again, another teaching tool, that you can do all of this without ever lifting a finger. Okay? So there's no excuses of I can't haul, or there's no excuses of I don't have enough help, I'm not strong enough. There's always a solution. One of the greatest assets an employee can ever give an employer is to be able to come up with creative problem-solving solutions. Love it. And so I've tried to give you some. Now, Pamela, how do you know if you can trust them? You don't. Pamela, how do I know I can trust you? How do you know you can trust me? The only way that we know that is to place our trust in somebody, and they prove themselves trustworthy. As I had apprentices and students for most of my vocational career, they always used to say, we talked about trust a lot, and they always used to say, oh man, you have to earn trust, you have to earn trust, you have to earn trust, and I always disagreed with them. I have a complete different philosophy. We even talked about this in the beginning of a relationship, remember? And my philosophy was this: you don't earn trust, you give it. And so I told George in the beginning of our relationship, I said, you don't have to earn my trust, you already have it. I choose to give you my trust until you break it. And so I choose to trust them. And that's a choice that either you make or you don't make. How do I know that they don't steal from me? I don't. How do I know that they won't steal from me? I don't. How do I know? I don't. I choose to trust them. Same way I would trust George, the same way I would trust anybody else until you broke my trust. Once you broke my trust, then the trust is gone forever. But that's the way it goes for me.
Giving people the benefit of the doubt.
If you don't trust somebody, how are you ever going to network? How are you going to do business? It's all about a relationship. So you have to cultivate a relationship somewhere. Good question.
Mm-hmm. It was a really good question. Pamela Lynn, she ordered a hoodie and a t-shirt, and she said it arrives tomorrow. Woo!
Woo! Yeah!
Don't forget to take a selfie, Pamela Lynn. We want to see it and post it on our Facebook page. Tiffany Clare said she bought a unit and it has a router from Spectrum. For those of you that don't know what Spectrum is, it's a cable company. and other stuff probably should be returned. What should I do with it?
All right, good question. So Tiffany, any router, anything from the cable company, it has value, all right? Now, there's typically two routes to go when you hook yourself up with cable and you get all of their hardware. Number one, the cable company starts to charge you. They say, well, you can rent this equipment for such and such a fee a month, or you can buy this equipment for this amount, flat rate, usually, okay? And so you don't know if they rented it and Spectrum still owns it, or if they bought it and they owned it. If it was bought and they owned it, you can resell it. You legally own every single item. You legally own every single item that's in the storage unit that you purchased. Now, resale on that will be extremely difficult because if you put that up on eBay without knowing that it was owned free and clear by the previous owner and not by Spectrum, you're going to get a million questions. Was this owned? Is it clear? Is the card clear? It's going to go on and on and on. So call Spectrum and find out. And if it's theirs, do whatever you want. Throw it away, give it back. It's up to you. Obviously, if it's theirs, you're going to want to try and get it back to them somehow. But at the same time, I wouldn't take on that expense. If they said, well, you got to ship it back to us, I would say, well, you can come and pick it up. It'll be right here at this time. And if they don't own it, sell it. Resell it on eBay. It should go pretty quick. It's a high dollar commodity on those items. She also asked, I think she said something about Redbox DVDs as well, right?
She also found Redbox movies that were still in the case and wanted to know if she should just drop them off in the Redbox return.
If you found Redbox movies still in the case, you can do whatever you want with them. So me personally, I don't mess around with all of this stuff. I don't have enough time in my day. I'm just being so blatantly honest with you. If I find a Redbox DVD, usually it either goes in the garbage if it's not cared for, or I take it out of the case and then I resell the DVD. But if you want to take it back and you want to put it in Redbox, take it back. I don't know. Does Redbox even resell their movies anywhere after? I don't know.
I don't know.
So my guess is if it was Redbox, they probably didn't return it. If you want to return it, return it. If not, again, you own it. That's all on you. I just don't have enough time in the day to mess around with everything that I find and go, well, I got to give this back to the library. I got to give this back to Redbox. I got to give this to Spectrum. I got to give this to his neighbor. I got to give... I don't have that kind of time. I just don't. So you do what you want to do, but you're not going to get in trouble for not doing it either. There's nothing illegal about you holding on to it when you bought it in a storage unit. You didn't do anything wrong. You just purchased all the items. And you're going to find, I'll use this equation, you'll find drugs too. You're not guilty of doing drugs because you bought drugs in that unit. You bought the items that were in the unit. Do the responsible thing. Get rid of the drugs.
A couple folks want to know how much the Chrysler stock was for. Do you know?
Yes, I'll show that again. Okay, Chrysler stock. I'm going to bring it straight up to the camera again, okay? And you're going to see the amount. So
And how many shares?
right here is the amount. It's 5 shares of Chrysler stock. And if you look down here, it's 5 shares of Chrysler stock that was given out July 15, 1996. I don't know the true value of it right now. I still have to figure that all out. All right, what's next, George?
You won't believe this, but we have a viewer all the way from Mars.
From Mars?
VTR dog, hello from Mars.
VTR! Mars!
Meerkat says, I speak sarcasm very well. William Greeley says, sarcasm is a hard language to learn. Good job.
I'm still working on English.
John Tracy wants to know, do you interact with other YouTube resellers?
All right, John Tracy, do we interact with other YouTubes? See, I still can't speak English. George, why don't you answer that one? Do we interact with other YouTube resellers?
Absolutely. They reach out to us all the time, and they give us feedback, they share stories, and we do the same. We have a couple people that are in the resale business, not necessarily have a YouTube channel, but that we've met that'll come up to us and introduce themselves. And you'll see them in the videos that Jeremy posts.
Now, he may be specifically asking about others who actually post reselling videos like us as far as auctions and things. So I will share with you, if that is the meaning of your question, we did just have another YouTube channel individual reach out to us and say, man, what a hit, what an amazing score you guys just got. And we said, well, we've been watching some of your videos too. We like what you're doing. We're close. Why don't we get together? We'll do a dual channel storage unit auction. And so we're in the process right now trying to figure that out on the calendar and schedule to see if we can do a dual channel storage unit auction together.
Did we talk about the commission that the auctioneers get?
We can right now.
Someone wants to know that.
All right. Professor Hale's coming back. Here we go.
Joe Long wants to know, when you call the auctioneers to pick up your things, how much their commission is.
All right. Auctioneer's commission. Now this, keep in mind, this only is specific to the auctioneer I'm working with. You need to contact your auctioneer and figure out the specifics for that individual. So the individual that I work with, if I take all of my items to this person, which I do, people ask, how long do you keep your merchandise? How long do you keep inventory? If it doesn't sell in 3 months, I send it off to the auction house. Usually I put it all in the trailer, I drop it off. He takes 30%, okay? So, well, sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 30. If he looks at it and he thinks it's a higher resale value, it'll be 25%. If he looks at it and he goes, Jeremy, this is all your leftover garbage, it's 30%, okay? And so if I pay the auctioneer 25% to sell all my stuff, I'm paying my employees 25% to sell all my stuff as well. So the auctioneer, think of it just as another employee. I pay anybody who sells for me 25% of whatever they sell for. You sell $10,000 worth of items, you made $2,500. The auctioneer sells $10,000 worth of items, he's going to make $2,500. Now when he comes and picks it up, that commission rate goes up. He's taking 35%. Now, if he gets there and he goes, wow, Jeremy, it's going to be 40%. What do I care? It's all profit. I spent $15. So I'll go, yeah, whatever. You can take 40%. That's fine. And so 60% in my pocket, 40% in his pocket. I did nothing except show up and go, I'll take that for $15. Not a bad gig as far as I'm concerned. And it allows me to stay at home and do whatever I want, whenever I want, every day, all day. Not a bad deal. So commission rates all are dependent based on your actual auctioneer. Make sure you have those communications and conversations with that individual.
Some of the viewers have said that they don't have local auctions. So what's a good way for them to look online to see if they do have local auction houses?
Oh, I can solve that problem for you really quick. Go get your auctioneering license. And so it's something I've actually looked into as well. Me and a buddy, we've said, what if we, instead of us sending stuff to the local auction house, what if we are the local auction house? And so we've actually thought about that, went through that and went, well, I probably could get my auctioneer's license and have fun doing it as well. Because, I mean, how hard is it? $5, $10. So there's your solution. Go get your auctioneer's license and create your own auction house. You can do it right in your backyard, okay? If you can't find a local auction house, I don't know your area. I don't know the population of your area. There are going to be specific populations where there's 25 people in the city. Having an auction house there, probably not the best idea. Probably having a more something along the lines of a community garage sale, that might be a better idea. You can come up with a solution. You just got to be creative in your problem solving to go, okay, how do we get the community rallied around this? What can we do? Can we do a farmer's market? But it's not a farmer's market. It's a storage unit market. Figure it out. There's a way around everything, and there's a legal way around everything. I'm sure you can come up with the solution.
Tyler Witt says that he'll be at the same auction we'll be at this Saturday.
On Saturday, Tyler, you better be, and you better come up and say hi and be ready to be filmed. Tyler's been talking to me on Facebook for quite a while now. He's had some pretty cool things going on down there where he's at.
People from all over the world. Thank you guys for leaving it down below.
We got another question there, George?
Scrolling.
Scroll down.
Well, we already answered his question about local auctions, how those work.
Mm-hmm.
Allison Flowers wants to know, where do you store all that porn?
Okay, Allison.
She's asking for a friend.
Oh, Allison, for your friend. Okay? And again, what I'm about to share with you is the same with anything I ever share with you. You have to figure things out for yourself. I will give you ideas, but you have to figure things out for yourself. All right, all the porn. There's three things. Let's back up just a little bit. There's three things you're going to find in every single storage unit auction. What's number one, George?
It's usually porn.
Okay, porn is number one. What's number two?
Or something sex related.
Okay, we found both of those in our last unit, porn and we found condoms.
Yes,
okay,
they were glow in the dark.
So you're going to find porn, adult toys, and then what's number three?
Drugs.
Drugs. Okay. Now, me personally, as you asked the question, and I understand there's humor in your question, I will not resell anything pornographic. It all goes in the garbage. So I destroy it. It's gone. That is where I draw a line in regards to resale. And so me personally, that's a decision that I make. And some of you right now are going to go, do you know the value of Playboys from the 60s? Yeah, I do. And I won't resell it. That's a choice that I make. And you need to make a choice for yourself. I'm not telling you what to do, how to do, but that's what I do. I destroy it. I don't store it. It's gone. So good question. Make sure you tell your friend that, and then we can go from there. Okay.
First name, last name wants to know, does eBay charge to automatically relist your item?
Okay. First name, last name. Does eBay charge to automatically relist your item? The answer is yes. Unless you have a number of free items to list still. Now, eBay is going to give you so many free listings a month. That could be 50 free listings. That could be, depending on your level, 250 free listings. It could be 500 free listings, depending on the level of you as a seller. So let's say you have 10 items on there, and then they're going to relist it. Let's say you actually post it good till canceled, which I do not recommend, and make sure I explain why don't do that on your auctions, okay? Every month it's going to renew. If you have free listings left that month, it's going to be free. If you don't have free listings left that month, eBay is going to automatically charge you, and you're going to get a bill at the end of the month, and it's going to be for so much. It's all your listings, and it's your selling fees and all of that, okay? So that being said, here's why not to list an item on eBay good till canceled. You usually have an option. You have the option of a live auction, 3-day, 7-day, well, it used to be 3-day, 5-day, 7-day, 10-day, or you have the buy it now option. This is where it is, just right at this price. I only sell buy it now. And the reason is this. The buying culture has changed drastically. Where eBay, when it first came out, and I was at the forefront of it when it first came out, I was there buying Sega Genesis games and selling Sega Genesis games. When it first came out, everything was about the auction. But now it's all about the impulse buy. And so people are on there, they don't care, just buy it. Just put the price on, they're going to buy it. But you want to do that for 30 days. And this is the reason why. Don't ever put your item out there for good till canceled, okay? Because eBay is just going to keep reoccurring your fees. At 30 days, if your item didn't sell, it bumps off of the actual selling platform and it's an unsold item. At that point, you have two options. Relist this item or sell similar. Do not hit relist this item, because what that does, if you have a pair of glasses frames, and there's 1 million pair of glasses frames in eBay's database, the ones that just got listed are at top. And you are a month down here, nobody's ever going to see your actual listing of glasses frames if you just hit relist. It's buried. But if you create a sell similar item and it has all the same pictures and all the same information, your listing just bumped right up at the top. And if I type in the search engine, listing, I type in glasses frames, boom, there it is. You'll sell so much more doing a 30-day, and then at the end of it, if it doesn't sell, then clicking sell similar and put it on for another 30-day than you ever will with good till canceled. Make sure you do it for a 30-day and then hit sell similar if it doesn't sell.
And that's included in your 40-step.
That is included in the 40-step eBay selling guide. That is for free. All you have to do is email us whatthehales@yahoo.com and say, hey, I want your eBay tips, and that is included in the eBay tips. It's one of the 40.
Drew Ellsworth McRae asks, he said they have several storage facilities in Southwest Michigan. He's trying to talk the wife into trying it. If you're careful how you bid, what are your actual risks? And then he asks, how often do you come across a real crap unit?
Okay, what was his name again?
Drew Ellsworth McRae.
All right, Drew, you're trying to get your sweetie, your honey, to go on the auction scene with you. I understand, because when I first met her...
You got me to go.
Hold a second. When I first met you, I said, hey, I kind of do this thing. I go to storage unit auctions. Would you ever go? And you said...
I looked at him and I said, I'll support you with whatever you want to do, but that's not something I would ever get into.
4 months later, what's she getting into now?
Guilty.
Okay, so Drew, here's the deal.
Set a budget.
Okay, probably a good idea. Set a budget. First, let's back up even a little bit. What's the first thing? The door opens on a storage unit. What's the first thing you need to do?
Profile, obviously.
You're going to profile it.
Or what you could do is just go just to experience the auction, and you don't even have to bid.
So first thing we would recommend, just take her and don't spend any money. Just go see what it's all about. Mm-hmm. If the weather is horrible, which it is right now in South Michigan, lived in Michigan for a little over a year and a half, you're going to want to make sure you got hot chocolate and she's bundled up like crazy.
Layers.
Just go and take her and learn. The second time, when the door opens, you want to profile the unit. There's junk units all the time. You'll see units that go up and there's nothing in it. The reason is, and here's the other thing, people will say, oh man, you should give all that stuff back to the person who originally owned it. No, the person who originally owned it should have paid their bill. And even when they didn't pay their bill, they still come back and they take all of their stuff. So there's a unit, a door will go up, it's empty. There's a unit, a door will go up, you'll see somebody was actually living in there. There's a unit, a door will go up, it's trash. What individuals will do, because most storage unit facilities will give you 1 month free, and then they start billing you month after month afterwards, people will actually get storage unit auction, or excuse me, get a storage unit, put all of their trash in the storage unit. They get the first month free, nobody checks what goes in there, and then they abandon it because they don't want to pay the bill. They never intended on paying the bill. You profile the unit, you'll see that right away. Don't bid on it. You want to make sure you're bidding on units that look good. Drew, when you saw your wife the first time, what'd you think? Were you like, ugh? Or were you like, ah? Okay, you were profiling your wife. The same thing is going to happen when you see a unit. You're going to go, yeah, I like that. Or, that's junk. Now, here's my warning. Most people who want to get into this, they don't think this stuff through. And they drive the price of units up, and it usually happens in April. They got their tax return. They're like, I'm going to hit it big. I'm going to make money. And they go and they buy a unit that's filled with garbage bags. It's truly garbage bags. And I see people bidding 400, 500, 600. And I'm sitting there thinking, why would you do this? They don't think. Thinking is the hardest thing in the world to do. That's why so few people do it. Just use your common sense and the God-given brain that you have, and you'll do just fine. I promise. Profile the unit. If it looks good, it's probably going to make you money. But when you look at it, it's also good. What did you say before about setting a budget? Budget.
Setting a budget.
Okay, look at the unit, and if you can go, okay, I see a guitar. I see another guitar. I know I can flip those for $300. There's a dresser I can flip for $100. And there's $400 just in 3 items right here. I know I can flip that. And after that $400, everything else would be profit. Set your limit. There's your budget. I'll spend $400 on this unit. Maybe you only have $25 and you go, okay, we're going to start with $25 and we're going to see if we can take that $25 and turn it into $50. It may be a unit filled with garbage, but I guarantee you there's probably going to be something in there that you can double that $25 for, and then take your 50 and double it to 100. Take your 100, double it to 200. Take your 200, double it to 400. 400 to 800, 800 to 600, 1600 to 3200. You get it? 6,400. Then you're at 12, 8, and then you're at 20. I don't even know. I can't go that high anymore. So make sure you budget the money and keep it separate for what you're doing with your storage unit auctions.
All right. George Jones says he's getting ready to buy his first unit with all of your advice. Wish me luck. Good luck, George.
Good luck, George. Go get it. And then let us know how you did, George.
Please do.
Can't wait to hear.
Lucas Walker says, is it really worth your time to save the scrap metal and make the trips to the scrapyard?
Okay, Lucas, is it worth the time to save the scrap metal, make the trips? Now, particularly for me, my scrapyard is on the way, specifically on the way of other places that I go. So it's only worth it to me because I have to actually sort through a unit. So when I sort through a unit, I sort through garbage. Everything goes in the garbage. Recyclables, everything goes into recyclables. I sort through scrap metal. This is all the scrap metal. I do not sort aluminum, steel, copper, although you can make a whole lot more money that way. It's just not worth my time to sort it that way. And then I sort through resale. I sort through, well, these are garage sale items. These are eBay items. This would be a Craigslist item. I sort through all of that. And I only do the scrap metal because it's on the way to other places that I go. So I schedule it in my schedule to stop, get a few bucks. It pays for my gas, and then I carry on. So for me, it's worth it. For you, if you have to drive an hour to your nearest scrapyard, probably not worth it unless you got a monster load of copper. And if you got a monster load of copper, I can guarantee you someone's going to be having their eye on you, wondering where you got that copper.
Christine, and I apologize if I butcher your last name, Christine Gutschau asks, Jeremy, are you going to meet George's son over the holidays?
Christine, I've already met George's son.
For those of you who don't know, I just have one child. I have a son who's 19 years old. A lot of people think that I'm either his older sister. They think
you're 19 years old.
They think I'm either his older sister or his girlfriend.
And if you actually watch some of the older videos, which video was it that Joey was in with me?
The Ray, when you're sorting through the
you know
Ray.
what? Okay, so there is a video with Rudy Ray Moore, famous movie star from the 60s and 70s, and I bought a unit, had all of his items in it. And the video was up for everybody to see. It was public, and Joey was in it. So Joey's actually worked for me for a little bit, and done some things with me. And then I had to take the video down because of the negotiations for the sale of the items from that unit. And it's part of the confidentiality agreement that I agreed upon with the buyer who flew out from California. And so that video will go live once the full transaction is complete, and there is more follow-up video that I cannot release yet, but I can't wait to release. It's just all in holding based on the confidentiality agreement that I have with the purchases.
Both Donna Sambucci and Ida K say that they love watching the two of us. You guys make me laugh, and I learn so much. That's good to hear. Glad you guys are loving our wacky videos and learning from us.
Baby?
Yes.
Sweetheart, I'm a little parched. Can I have a little bit? Right. Thank you.
William Grilly wants to know, besides guns, what is your favorite thing to find in storage units? Cash is a given. I'm thinking more on the personal side.
Lots of people will ask me, what do I collect? And at one point, I had aspirations of owning every single Sega Genesis game ever created. And I did at one point. And then I resold those and I paid for my college. So there you go. Video games actually can pay. They paid for my college free and clear. No debt with that. So that was great. I do enjoy finding video games, retro video games. I don't know how to play any of the new video games, even though I find them all the time. My love is the old Nintendo, the old Sega games, things along those lines. Those are fun to find. Cash, gold's a given, okay? When you get guns, you know that that unit's going to pay for itself in one gun if you sell it. But again, you've got to consult your local state laws if you're going to do that. 9 times out of 10, you keep it, okay? Gold is a great thing to find as well. It's high dollar, but personally, I enjoy finding the old retro video games just because I enjoy those. I also love toys. And so I know a lot about old toys. I know way too much.
That's what you started selling when you first got into the eBay store.
I got an eBay. I started eBay in the 90s when eBay came out, and it was all toys. I love toys. I don't play with them. I actually buy them and to resell them. And so I love making the income from toys. And so that is my area of expertise. A lot of you people have areas of expertise in glassware. Not me. But I can run circles around you with old toys.
All right, we're running out of time.
We can go a little extra because we had technical
because
difficulties
Okay.
because of the lag.
All right. Cindy Roach said, my first unit in March, was really, really clean. My second one in October, we took 34 bags of expired food. Ooh, but she only paid $30 and already tripled. So congratulations on that.
35 bags of expired
34
food?
bags.
34 bags of expired food. When George wasn't with me and I was bacheloring it up, that probably could have sustained life here. So that I would have been appreciative of that. I would have been like, all right, grocery shopping.
It's expired, dude.
I have expired stuff all over the house, and she tells me it's all placebo and I'm going to die. She's like, get rid of this. I'm like, no! I lost everything in my life. I'm not getting rid of it. She's like, garbage.
He has bottles and bottles of expired medication, and I tell him, babe, do you realize you're taking placebo?
She says it's placebo, and I go, well, it works anyway.
Scotty Martyr wants to know, is your warehouse also your storefront, or have you considered a brick and mortar? All the way from Texas.
All right, Scotty, I don't have a storefront. Now, at one point in time, I was running a thrift store, and I was doing that with my master's degree level students. They had to create a business, and they had to sustain a business. And so I would take up to 6 students every year. They created Hidden Treasures Thrift Store. And once I stepped down from my position of what I used to be, executive director of a business, which added that business to it under the umbrella, then I no longer was doing that. And so I do not have a storefront currently, and probably will not get a storefront, even though the volume right now actually would be well with a storefront. And your follow-up question is, why not a storefront? And I'm just going to put it plain and simple. Everybody has things in their lives. They have things they have to work through. They have things that they have to navigate around. And in my particular situation, being a 41-year-old, 4 years divorced now and still in court with certain things, probably not conducive to do that. So there are things in your life as well. And for you individuals that may have gone through life-changing circumstances, I just want to say there's hope. This is a way that you can turn your life around financially. There is hope for you and there's hope for others. But think through how that's going to affect some of the situations that did change your life as well, and some of the decisions you need to make based on those changes.
VTR Dog asks, how much would a case of metric adjustable wrenches be worth, a 20-piece set?
All right, VTR Dog, you're asking how much your wrenches are. You may be asking how much my wrenches are or how much your wrenches are. Here's what you do to find out values, okay? You go to eBay. eBay is a marketplace. It's a worldwide marketplace. It's going to tell you exactly what people are paying resale value on things, okay? Or brand new even. This is what we would call a market bearing point. So in the business world, it's called a market bearing point. What is somebody willing to pay? That's the market bearing point, okay? And so if you go to eBay, you type in, I don't know what brand wrenches you have to type that in the search engine, and you're going to see all the active listings. Those active listings are going to tell you what people are asking for them. They're not going to tell you what people paid for them. You don't care about what people are asking. That doesn't tell you anything except this is what people are asking. I could try selling you this pen. I can list it on eBay right now and ask $1 million for it. Am I going to get $1 million for this pen? I wish. Not going to happen though. So what you want to do is then filter your search based on sold items. You want to look specifically at sold items, and then you can sort that from highest to lowest. When you do that, you're going to see that metric set, that 20-piece metric set, and you're going to see it, the highest value that somebody paid for it and the lowest value, and you can figure out your value in between. Always looking at sold items. What people are asking means nothing. Sold items means everything in determining value and what people are willing to pay.
How many more questions do you want to do?
We can do, how much more time do we have?
It is 10.
We can do one more question and then we'll have some closing things.
Okay. Rob Horskins asked, when listing your items on eBay, do you have a special setup to take good, clean photos? Is that in your 40 step?
That is not in the 40 steps. So good question, Rob. Do I have a clean setup in a place to actually take pictures? Before we started this right here, George was actually taking pictures right here.
Yeah.
And so what you can't see is things such as right here for lighting, okay? So we've got reflectors for lighting. Now this stuff, I haven't spent any money on this. This is all from storage units, stuff I have. What you can't see is there is a step ladder right behind the camera right now with a shop light bungee to it. I'm gonna show it to you because this is a janky setup. You're not gonna believe it, but
Share all our secrets.
I'm gonna show it to you because I want you to know, Rob, you don't have to spend a ton of money to make money.
Yeah. The most important thing, Rob, is lighting. Lighting is so essential when
So
taking pictures.
here in my bedroom, right now, this is the lighting for this live streaming Q&A. So that is our backdrop, what you can see, what you can't see. And I'm going to move it back up here a little bit. All right, so now that I moved everything. In other words, what we're trying to say is you don't have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. So anything that I have, it's usually bungee corded, duct taped, and put on a step ladder. Key is good lighting. The other thing that we do, excuse me, poster board. So poster board will give you a nice white look, and then you could also get black poster board, colored poster board, and so we set up just different pieces of poster board, and we put the light on it, reflect the light, and then you get a good, nice, clean picture. I would encourage, don't use your flash. Flash makes bad pictures. Just use natural lighting if you can.
Natural daylight, right.
The one benefit that I have a bedroom that's 20 foot by 20 foot, and one entire wall is nothing but windows. And so I'll show you that as well, just for the fun of it. It's like an episode of Cribs here. So this entire wall, this whole wall with the giant stockings, that is nothing but windows. And so where I take photos and where George takes photos is right here in that light at that wall. So find the area in your home where you get the most natural lighting, and that means you'll get the best pictures.
All right, one more question, and then we're going to share our last success story, and then we have to go. But Angie Martinez says she lives in Toledo, which is about 2 hours away,
Yep, about
maybe
2 hours
3
away.
hours away from where we live. Asked, would you two be interested in coming up here to bid on units and teach her? Road trip.
Angie, that's a good question. Would we come up there to teach you? You're 2 hours away in Toledo. I have some good friends that were students of mine, Danny and Garrett, and they actually may be watching right now. So Danny and Garrett, if you are watching, Danielle and Garrett, if you are watching, we may come up and see you here soon. That would be an option that we wouldn't mind swinging on up there. Email us, and we'll see if we can work something out on the calendar. So again, that email address is whatthehales@yahoo.com, and it'd be fun to teach you, putting you on camera. All right.
Yes.
George.
All right.
We've got one more success story that we want to share with people, right?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I would love to share this with them. Super Tech Games shared this message with us. They said, I just found you and I subscribed 3 weeks ago, brother. But thanks to you, I went to Storage Treasures Online. I studied one unit that looked like junk with bins and boxes. But let me tell you, in the top of that unit, I could see a small box, and I could hardly read what it said, so I used a program to edit the image, and I found out it said He-Man Power Sword. Anybody that knows anything about toys, original He-Man toys, oh my goodness, big money, okay? Well, I collect toys, and I figured whoever had that there probably collected old toys as well. I made my bid. I fought it out to the last minute because I'm guessing the other person bidding also saw the He-Man sword. But it went from 70 up to 300, and I did 310, and he gave up. So I won. Went yesterday with my wife, 2 hours away to see if my hunch was right. And let me just tell you, I cried. 99.9% of that unit was collectible vintage toys. He-Man, Thundercats, Star Wars. It goes on, and I only glimpsed at some. God only knows what else is there. I felt so sick that I rented out the unit for 30 days just to take the time to find a way to bring the entire truck because it was so much. Best experience ever. I got what I always dreamed of on my first unit. You are the man, and I'm so happy because without your advice and tips, I would have never dared. I say there's over 10,000 in that unit from what I see and searched on some photos taken when I was there. Wow. That's only what he saw so far. And that's the reality. If you do proper profiling, you can buy the honeypot, the gold mine units that just keep giving and giving and giving, and it'll probably bring you to tears as well.
Aww. Well, congratulations. Thank you for sharing your story.
All right, one last thing before we go, George. We got these super cool hoodies.
Yes.
Okay, and we want to give them away. So here's a way that you can actually get a super cool hoodie for you and a friend. Here's what we want you to do. Share our channel with your family, with your friends, and then have that family or friend mention in the comments on one of the videos that they subscribed because of you. They have to specifically comment in a video that they subscribed, and they have to mention your name because of you. And you and your friend are going to win a brand new What the Hales hoodie. Does that all make sense? You share the channel. That individual that you shared it with shares in a comment that they subscribed because of you, and that individual are going to get an opportunity to win a hoodie. The cutoff for this competition for the free hoodie is December 16th.
Which is next Sunday.
Next Sunday. You have 1 week, December 16th by noon.
Eastern Standard Time.
We're going to take anybody who actually made a comment. We're going to throw them into a hat. And then George is going to pull the winning 2 individuals out Sunday evening on the next live Q&A.
Yes.
So get to it. Share the channel. Make sure they mention that they saw the channel, subscribe to the channel because of you, and your friend or family member can win a What the Hales hoodie.
Yes.
So without further ado.
Our time is up. It's been an hour.
Already?
It doesn't even feel like an hour. But we want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe because tomorrow we have an unboxing. That unit that I bought, what day was it that I even bought it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday? Well, we've got unboxing videos coming. Tomorrow night will be another unboxing video, and then we've got more storage unit videos coming, and then we have to still take the storage unit for $15, send it to auction, and see how much profit we make. We got a lot going on this week. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so that you get the notifications. And remember,
adventure awaits. You gotta go find it.
Go find it! Why, I go find the off button in the bathroom.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.